Hi, beautiful people. It's fall here in the Pacific Northwest, and I've been feeling contemplative lately, and I feel that's reflective of the season because fall and winter really call us down and in. And what I've been reflecting on is the rhythms in nature and how when we can embrace the rhythms of nature in our own bodies and our being, not only do we get so much more energy, but we feel connected to something that is much greater than us, which is incredibly valuable. And this sense of connection is really important in any type of mental wellness. And so for me, the rhythm of being and embracing nature's rhythms starts with circadian rhythm. And this is because we have a master timekeeper in our brain that sends signals to every cell in our body. And once we start giving ourselves the correct light signals and filtering out artificial light after dark, then we are able to come into a state of coherence in our body. So coherence is when all of our systems are functioning and communicating in the way that they're meant to be. And so there is a natural ease and flow when we're in this state of coherence. And so that is incredibly valuable for our physical and mental health. And I think it's a bit tragic that we have separated physical and mental health thanks to Cartesian duality. But that's a whole other rabbit hole I don't need to go down right now. But in terms of the rhythms of nature, we have seasonal rhythms. So right now it's fall. We are in a seasonal rhythm of quieting, of dropping inward. I've been noticing in my personal practices just a pull to spend more time internally, to spend more time alone, to spend more time in meditation. And I think that's a natural reflection of what's happening in nature because the leaves are falling, things are dying away. And in some cultures, death is also celebrated at this time of year, or recognized and worked with. So seasonal rhythms are really important when we can align our bodies with them. And a lot of people struggle with winter because they resist winter. And we resist, we keep our artificial lights on until late into the evening and then go to bed at the same time that we would in the summer. When realistically, if you put your blue blockers on at sunset in the winter, you will want to go to sleep at 8 or 8:30, and there's nothing wrong with that. It actually feels amazing. One of my friends accused me of having a sleep fetish, which might be true, but I just love feeling rested. And so winter is a time where ancestrally we were designed to hibernate. There's not a lot of light, and if we keep trying to function the way that we did in the summer, there's going to be a lack of coherence and a dissonance with how we're living our lives. So winter, we are meant to embrace the cold. You don't have to be cold all the time, but it's really helpful when you go outside for sunrise to wear very little clothing and give your body a sense of what the actual temperature is outside. And I understand, I used to hate the cold. I was afraid of feeling cold. And for me, learning how to practice cold immersion was a very big deal. It was very hard. I will say that using wetsuit booties for my feet made all the difference in terms of being able to get in natural bodies year-round, bodies of water. So winter is time to embrace the cold and the darkness. And what's interesting is that our receptors in our cells for vitamin D are the same receptors that use melatonin. So what this means is that in the summer, we're designed to collect vitamin D and make use of that, and we also store it for use through the winter And then in the wintertime, we are designed to use melatonin for a time of healing and rest. So because we have more melatonin, we'll be able to sleep longer and more deeply, hopefully. If that's not happening, then there are other things that need to be addressed. But we are designed to hibernate, and we're also designed to have longer fasts. So in terms of seasonal alignment, a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet is much more seasonally appropriate, especially for people with northern ancestry or white skin like myself, because that's what our ancestors survived on in the winter. And winter was a time of survival. So when we can eat seasonally, this is another way that we can align the rhythms of our body with the rhythms of nature, because food that is grown close to us has hydrogen bonds that match up in our mitochondria. And when we eat tropical food in the winter, this is a mismatch in our hydrogen bonds, and it creates chaos and inflammation in the mitochondria, which is not optimal. And so when we eat seasonally, this helps to promote this coherence and this rhythm in our bodies. And another rhythm that is very beneficial for us is the Schumann resonance. And this is the rhythmic pulse of the earth that comes in at 7.83 hertz. And what happens when we go outside is that our brain entrains to this fundamental rhythm. We evolved living outdoors. So this is yet another reason why go outside, to give ourselves the opportunity to experience wellness by allowing the pulse of the earth to be felt through our whole being. Women also have added rhythmicity in their bodies with the rhythm of menstruation, which is ideally connected to the moon. And many women who ascribe to circadian practices notice their cycles will sync up with the new moon, and they'll ovulate with the full moon. And that is optimal. It's not necessary, but this is another level on which we can embrace the rhythm of being. So essentially, we also have seasons of life, and myself and many of my friends are transitioning more to a later season of life where the demands on us are different, and we're maybe not feeling like doing things like we did when we were 25. And so it's really important to be able to listen and attend to our bodies and what our bodies are asking of us. And lastly, I'd like to say that nature is, when we experience coherence in nature, nature is also a place where we can feel a sense of inner belonging. And belonging is really central to the work that I do. So I'm actually going to make a series of videos about belonging. And this is something that I love talking about. And coherence and belonging, they're not the same, but they're similar. And when we can align our bodies with all of these rhythms in nature and experience this coherence and this wholeness, there's an inherent feeling of connectedness, of vitality, and of coming to rest within yourself as incredibly valuable. So thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I'd love if you want to join my email list. You can go to my website below, which is kristengilbert.ca, and I have a free gift for you, which is called a Sleep Well Starter Kit. So I'd love to see you there. Thanks.